Right, it's time I put this to bed. I had one of the commenters comment on YouTube basically saying that Melee Ironeye is trash. And the same guy has said it multiple times, but it's not only him. I know other people think this as well about Ironeye. I'll get to the reason why I think he says this, but I'm going to go through the comments what he made, and then I'm going to show you just how strong Melee Ironeye can be, and why he is important, and just as important, if not more important, than someone like the Wilder. And by the way, there's absolutely no hate to Zuru, I think that's how you pronounce it. If I haven't pronounced that right, I apologise. There's no hate to him at all because he comments on my videos a lot. They are all negative, but I think the real reason behind the comments is down to the Ironeyes he's played with. He clearly hasn't played with many good Ironeyes that are very helpful for the team. And I get that a lot. Like, a lot of people will say that Ironeye tends to be the most unhelpful person on the team. But just because you've had a bad session with an Ironeye player, that doesn't change the fact that he's very viable, if not more viable as a melee character than he is a ranged character. First up here we have the comment number 1, throwaway opportunity to have a ranged physical damage dealer and a long range revival for the team. Just because you're playing Melee Ironeye doesn't mean you can't have a bow in your left hand. Physical attack powers buff bows, so you can just have physical attack powers and you can get damage up that way. Obviously the melee attack power isn't going to buff the bow, but we'll get into that when we talk about another comment that he made further down the line. Now, the second comment he made was he doesn't have much HP and great defenses. He's right on the HP part. Ironeye at max level 15 with no relics attached, he has 820 HP and the Wilder gets about 1100. So the Wilder has a base 300 more HP than the Ironeye. But that can be simply circumvented by a couple of improved max HP relics, or just one of those and his Vigor Strength relic. That will put him over 1000 Vigor, which is perfectly fine for a melee character. The defenses are a funny one because there's not really anything in the defenses for every character, and the only characters that actually do get high defenses are the Executor, the Raider and the Guardian. All of those have like a default physical negation of 24. Everyone else has 19 and 14. Both the Wilder and Ironeye have 19 physical defense negation. Now it gets a little bit different when you talk about this slash and the thrust and the magic and all that stuff, but for that information I'll put it on the screen. Basically you will see there's hardly anything in it. So his defenses are perfectly fine. They're just as good as the Wilder's. Now the next point is he takes all the melee passives from the other players. Now if he is playing a ranged Ironeye and he's taking all the melee passives and you're playing Wilder and you don't have any, sure, that's a pretty shitty way to be playing on a team. But if he's playing a melee Ironeye and he's using a katana or he's using claws or anything like that, he's perfectly fine to take the melee passives because they're not your passives, they're whoever's passives gets them. Like, that's not that hard to understand. Now, me personally, if I'm playing a ranged Ironeye, which I rarely do, in fact I rarely play Ironeye at all, then I'm going to give whoever the tank is on the team, whoever's the person, on the front line, I'm going to give them all the physical attack ups, all the melee attack ups and all that stuff, because they're going to need it way more than I am. But I don't ever play ranged Ironeye. Obviously I will always have a bow for revives, which we'll talk about in a minute, but me personally, I will always use physical and melee Ironeye because you get way more damage into your enemy, into your boss. The quicker the damage gets put into the boss, the quicker the boss dies, the quicker you move on to fight another boss, and you end up having more passives, more weapons to choose from. The next point is throw away the opportunity to use the exclusive range passives, but basically a big portion of the game passives become useless. Now just to let you know, there are basically only 3 ranged passives. That is a range attack power up plus 7%, range attack power up plus 10%, and a range attack power up plus 14%. The only other things that buff the damage of ranged are physical attack power-ups. So there's not that many passives for me to be not using. One would say that Ironeye actually needs a buff and he needs more passives to help him become stronger. Not me, I wouldn't say that, but someone else might say that. But sure, it's a relevant point. You are no longer a ranged character and you do take away that ranged ability, which can draw the aggro of enemies away from the other characters. So there is that to take into consideration. But me personally, I would prefer to have another character in there fighting the boss, doing more damage than someone who is standing, a mile away, spamming his arrow and doing 12 damage. Obviously not all Ironeyes do 12 damage. You can get some Ironeyes that do incredible damage from bows. But most of the time, the Ironeyes that you're playing with are not going to be doing incredible damage. And the final point that he made, now it's experience talking, Melee Ironeye don't mark the enemy and get down every time. Maybe you're good at Melee Ironeye, but it's bad for the team. In solo is okay. Now again, this is just obviously his experience talking. Melee Ironeye is not bad for the team. Melee Ironeye is as good for the team as any other melee character. And in some circumstances, he will be better. Now, obviously I can't talk for him, you know, with the Ironeyes he's played with, where they've not marked the enemies. Me personally, the first thing I do is mark the enemy. In fact, sometimes I'll be marking way too much. I'll be marking when there's no point to mark, because it's just there, it's there to be used, and I just use it. Most Ironeyes I've ever played with will mark as soon as they get the chance to, because, let's be honest, they know that is their role. Their role is there to mark the enemy so everyone else does more damage. So yeah, obviously I can't talk for his experiences, but my experiences and the way I play Melee Ironeye, I will mark, I will do some range, I will get in close, do some melee, and I will just switch them around, just to make it up for the team. And the final comment was, you will probably say that the damage is good, but I've got runs that I deal near 1k per arrow, playing a lot more safely and without taking the passives of my team. So I think that's finally where we got to the problem. I know Zuru actually plays Wilder, I know that, and I think the issue with this is he's obviously had some bad experiences with Ironeyes where they've taken maybe all the physical attack power-ups, all the melee attack power-ups, tried to play a melee Ironeye, you know, they've just not done very good. But just because the experiences you've had with someone playing in a specific way hasn't been positive, it doesn't mean that that person shouldn't be playing that kind of way, or at least that Nightfarer shouldn't be played in that kind of way. Now, as for the damage, but the damage is good, the damage is not only good, the damage is incredible. Let me show you. What I'll do is I'll just leave you with this rest of this run, because you'll see how much damage I get from the katana. I mean, you can see there I've got 445 AR. That's without any of the buffs or any of the, you know, extra stuff that's going to be added to it. And you will see by the end of it, we get, I think it's close to like 700 AR off a one-handed katana. That is obviously incredible damage. Why wouldn't you want someone who can switch between both melee and range, who's also doing like 700 AR, has the ability to mark, and yeah, just in general, just going to be a much better player to have on the team. Me personally, I enjoy watching a Melee Ironeye. I enjoy watching every character to do different things, but that's just me personally. Anyway, gamers, yeah, as you can see, Melee Ironeye, definitely viable. Give it a try him out, and have fun. So wait till he's done a thing. There we go. Missed him. I'm one shot, by the way, if I get hit by anything. .526 AR, by the way. Please give me some stance. There we go. Someone get a stance break. 620 AR. Watch out the way, Executor. He's coming for me. The Revenant. Me. Where's that? Man. Just not get hit by this mic. You have to stay on the floor now, Executor. Executors, eh? And melee Revenants. Well, anyway, as you can see, Ironeye works very well. I mean, just look at those stats. 1200 HP, 400 AR without any, like, successive buffs. Obviously, we have the mark, which buffs the whole team. But Melee Ironeye can't work. It really upsets me when players, like this one here, he said he's got 1200 hours. And he still doesn't understand this. Like, how does Ironeye Melee not work? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.